I'm 27 female. My cousin, 29 female, is soon getting married. The thing is, our families have been in no contact for the last 10 to 12 years because of some issues between our fathers. In total, 4 brothers who hated each other. The feud recently came to an end because all kids are grown up now and we kind of want to keep our differences aside and enjoy the upcoming events. We all had a little reunion. This issue started with my cousin's engagement party. Now I want to highlight that I take good care of myself. I do yoga and dance to stay fit. On some special occasions, I love to dress up a lot. It makes me feel good and confident. My cousin is a doctor and, due to her schedule, she has put on some weight. But I respect her because her profession is tougher than mine. I am an engineer. For her engagement, I wore a nice, beautiful peach-colored gown. It wasn't a new one, this was a 3-year-old gift from someone. We are Indians, and brides generally prefer to wear lehengas or saris. Even though we have reconciled as a family, my sister never involved me with her planning or anything related to her wedding, and I was totally okay with that. When me and my mother arrived at the location of the event, all was good, but the bride was late. People from the groom's side welcomed us nicely, and I was feeling great. My cousin was almost 2 hours late, but when she arrived with her 2 besties, I could feel the tension between us rising high. To my horror, she was wearing a peach-colored gown exactly like mine, but it was more glittery. Only the bottom part of our dress was slightly different. And she went on without acknowledging my existence. My mom noticed me but told me to relax as it was an accident and to enjoy myself. She went ahead to help my auntie with further preparations. I took a seat in the corner with my other cousin. When I was talking to him, one of the bride's besties came to talk. I thought she was there to invite me to join them, but she straight up told me to change my dress. I was speechless. I told her no because 1, there was nothing else to wear, and 2, my house was several kilometers away and it would take me almost 2 hours to do so. She started suggesting different options for buying a new dress or she could lend me some clothes. I firmly told her no. My mom and dad were unaware of all of this. She kept arguing with me but gave up. When the ceremony started, my cousin was looking fine and smiled at me because, in the end, she was getting engaged to the love of her life. We both got lots of compliments and I thought the drama was over. But her friends kept giving me side eyes throughout the event, and today, one of them tried to contact me on Instagram. The most hurtful thing was the fact that there was an after party thrown by the bride and groom for all the cousins and their special friends. But I wasn't invited. I kinda feel like a jerk, but I need an honest opinion. And now for some comments on the story. Not in the wrong. As a fellow Indian, I might have said you're in the wrong if you were wearing red and it was a wedding ceremony as that's our tradition instead of white. But who the hell wears peach to the first party? Or rather, how were you supposed to know? Mind reading? I mean, I guess you can really pick any lehenga you want, but literally, you guys have the whole months. She didn't even have her hulud or sign the official documents or anything. Also, there is literally no one more catty for no reason at all than Desi Besties. How do you think the nosy aunties came into existence? Your cousin is definitely an anomaly amongst Indian brides. I'm Indian too, and all my married friends wore their wedding sari or one of their wedding saris to mine. It is pretty standard for finery to come out at a wedding. And in any case, if your cousin is the sort to get upset you didn't know that she would pick that dress, you are in the wrong, specifically because you turned down the offer of borrowing a dress from someone else. Otherwise, it would be an understandable but unfortunate accident. However, since you were given the opportunity to fix it and didn't do so, that makes you the jerk. It's generally considered bad etiquette to wear the same color as the bride. Okay, I'll start this off by saying I want no hate against my future mother-in-law. She's a wonderful woman, and this post isn't me trying to garner sympathy or pour a woo is me, please agree with me, the pride. Believe me, this is not it. I, 28 female, sit to marry my partner, 29 male, and we are currently planning the wedding. He's the youngest of 6 boys with not a girl in sight, so my future mother-in-law is ecstatic about this wedding, and as I have no maternal figure in my life, she has tipped in to offer that support and even wants to buy me a wedding dress. I tried to refuse this at first, as I will be happy in just a white summer dress and don't need all the bells and whistles. She insisted, however, and told me how as 6 boys she will never get to go wedding dress shopping. She and my future father-in-law married when they had no money, so they just had a simple court wedding and their Sunday best. And I think this is partly why she's so excited, as she never got to experience that part herself. I finally agreed, though I plan to pick a dress on a cheaper scale to make myself feel better about this. So we hit a few places to look for dresses, but we clearly disagreed on styles, as the dresses she kept wanting me to try on are best described as Princess Puff Monster, while I would favor a sleeker look. She got teary-eyed at me in one though, and insists I look like a princess. Yeah, Princess Peach maybe. She's now insisting it has to be that one, as we won't find better. I told her I would like to hit it up 1 or 2 more places to be sure before I commit to a dress, but I honestly feel bad about this. She's paying, and I was going to just wear a summer dress. Should I just grin and endure it as it will make her so happy? I feel like a jerk-ish for not wanting to accept such a generous gift, just because it's not my exact style. And now for some comments. You're not in the wrong. I would just say ball gowns and A-lines aren't my style. I know this is what you were hoping I would choose, but it's not what I want to wear on my wedding day. I completely understand if you don't want to pay for a dress that you don't like and can make do with the original plan if that's the case. I've really enjoyed getting to spend this time dress shopping with you though. Not in the wrong. I would have your husband call her and say OP is so happy to have you helping her pick out a dress. She feels so pleased to have a motherly figure with her. But she really doesn't want to wear a ball gown. She loves simple styles, but is terrified to hurt your feelings. I am worried she's going to end up in a dress she hates because she wants to make you happy. Is there any way you guys can go shopping again then? You make it really clear that you want her to pick a dress that she loves, and that you're happy to see her in a simpler dresses. It would mean the world to me. Or something along those lines. My husband and I always agreed we'd handle each other's parents, and that has worked out beautifully. We know how to talk to our parents to not upset them too much, so I think this would come across better for him, especially if he emphasizes how important she is to you. Not in a wrong. Mother-in-law, I'm so appreciative of your help with the dress. I know you love the Princess Puff Monster dress, but it isn't me or my style. I want this dress, and this is a dress I will be wearing at my wedding. I can't believe this is even a thing. I have 2 kids, female 5 and male 1. I'm a pretty picky eater, just due to textures. I don't eat seafood, raw onions or tomatoes, cottage or ricotta cheese, eggs cooked anyway, butter on cold bread or raw or cooked mushrooms or peppers. I'm sure there is more, but that's the big ones. If any of those foods are hidden in the dish, I have no problem eating them, as it's not a flavor issue. It's about how they feel when eating them. On to the problem. I prepare most, if not all of these things for my kids. I don't really force them on them. If my 5-year-old says she doesn't like something, I believe her. But I'm also not going to let her cut veggies out of her diet completely. So I will reintroduce things she says she doesn't like every few months to try again. Sometimes it's clear to her what she's eating. My 1-year-old is a vacuum cleaner, so he doesn't refuse much. The other day, some co-workers and I were talking about our kids being picky, and I brought up my strategy of reintroducing foods every so often. I said I tried cottage cheese again with my 5-year-old, but I mixed some peaches in this time. One of my co-workers, Jay, said, "Don't you hate cottage cheese?" And I said yes, but that doesn't mean my kids necessarily do. She argued that I shouldn't make my 5-year-old try again on foods that I don't like myself. Because obviously, I agree that they are undesirable foods. I said that tastes change as kids grow up, and she might end up liking it eventually, and since I don't make her eat every single thing on her plate, it is a non-issue. Jay said I'm still a jerk for asking my kids to do something I will not do. Some coworkers in the group agreed with her, some with me, but it was about a 60 to 40 split in favor of Jay. Am I really in the wrong for giving my kids foods that I don't like? And now for some comments. Not in the wrong. You're doing the developmentally appropriate thing to introduce a balanced diet to your kids. Not in the wrong. You're an adult that decided you don't like these things. Your kids are kids. When they are teenagers, if they still don't like some things, that's different. But if you only have 5-year-olds pick the only food they liked, they would eat like garbage. Not in a wrong. You are being a responsible and caring mother. I do this as well. It's how we picked up my son had an issue with certain foods' texture more than taste. As he will eat the same food in a different way and love it. We still have the one mouthful rule. That's all I ask for you to try. I, 30 male, live on about a 2-acre plot of land. On this land I have berry bushes, strawberries, blueberries, and black raspberries, peach trees and cherry trees, and apple tree. The strawberry and blueberry plants are right near my chicken run, as well as my peach tree is near it as well. All of these were put in the ground 3 to 7 years ago. My parents own a property and produce fruit. My neighbors are a couple in their late 20s, early 30s with a kid and a new puppy they got a month or so ago. Yesterday I heard my chickens squawking over something and I ignored it, because they do that basically every time they lay an egg. A couple minutes later my dog started barking, so I went downstairs to make sure no one was dead. I stuck my head out the door and my neighbor's puppy was running along the edge of the chicken run, on the outside. I chased it out and told my neighbors, but it had damaged almost all of my blueberry plants, trampled some of my strawberry plants as well, and dug up the dirt around my peach tree. The neighbors apologized and said their kid must have left the gate open and the puppy got out but no harm was done. I told them about my plants and they shrugged it off, not seeming to realize that it was so hard to grow them in the climate we're in, and that it took several years. I asked them for the cost of replacing my blueberry and strawberry bushes, and they laughed it off. This annoyed me, and I asked again to show I actually was serious, and they still laughed it off. I told them if they didn't give me payment, I would bring them to court for the cost of my plants. They got upset at this and said that I should put them in a fence and that I shouldn't put them near chickens where dogs get excited. They still are refusing to pay. Am I in the wrong? And is this an unreasonable request? And now for some comments. Not in the wrong. Get your losses in writing and see a lawyer. Sue for the cost of your plants, your time and labor for replacing them, your attorney's fees, and court costs. Not in the wrong. Their animal got out because they were being irresponsible and damaged your property. That's not no harm no foul. You shouldn't have to be worried about dogs getting excited around your plants. That's not your dog, it is theirs. They need to take responsibility. Not in the wrong. You do not need to install a fence to keep their dog out. It's their responsibility to keep their pet on their property, and if he breaks out and damages something, it is up to the owner to replace it. Take them to court. It's a lesson they need to learn, and they should be grateful the only cost of this was monetary. Next time their dog could get hit by a car or hurt someone.